All right, the first thing I'd like to do is go ahead and ground this post to the top of the vehicle before we work on the gun. I'm not sure exactly how to do that because I'm not able to find really any image that shows me what's happening inside here. So I'm going to have to kind of make something up here. I think what I'll do is use this piece to duplicate and extrude out and make this kind of triangular piece here that's holding the post. So let's see if this will work. I think what I'm going to do is select these faces along here, say 4 sections, and I'll duplicate these and create a new object from them. And then I'll extrude forward to get that triangle piece. So first of all, let's just press Shift D and Enter, and then I'll go over back to the Move tool and kind of lift this up just a little bit like that. All right, so I'm going to separate it into its own object by pressing the P key and choosing Selection. Now let's tab back into Object Mode and select that object there. I'll move the cursor to, or the origin to the geometry right there. And then I feel like I just want to take these edges right down here, this one and this one, and maybe just extrude them down. Let's try this. So they go into there. All right, and then I also want to close these up, I think. So I'll select this edge, and then what I can do is press the F key, and that will fill that with a face. I can come over here and do the same thing, F, and that will fill those edges with a face. And then we got to figure out how to get this up here. So I think what needs to happen, maybe I need to bring it up just a bit like this. There we go. And then, yeah, so I can take these faces and extrude them forward. So maybe I'll grab, let me go to the Select tool here. I'll grab these and all of these as well. All right, so now that we've got those, I'll go back to my Move tool here, and I'll hit E, and I'll hit Enter, and then I'll just grab these and pull them forward like to about here. Now, to get that triangular shape there, let's press S and X and kind of scale in like this. Yeah, we're getting there, and then let's go to the top view and take a look at it. So it's actually not bad, but let's press S and Y and kind of curve it just a bit more like that. Let's see how that works. All right, I think that works pretty well. And then it looks like we should probably either take this top face and raise it up or move this down. So actually, I think what I'll do, I think I've got more leeway here. I'll just take that edge and move it down like that. And I think I know the reason why I'm having to readjust all this. I think the reason why is because if you look at the windows here, they are right down at the bottom of that shield panel, whereas I've put mine up a bit. And because they're up a bit, the place where the window cutout is higher as well. So even though this panel is in the right place here, it's the windows, you can see them here, that have been moved up. Now, I could go back and rearrange this and get it all correct, but I think we're going to be okay if we just do a little bit of adjusting of the reference image working on this area. I'm not too worried about it, actually. So that's probably why we're having to do a lot of this readjusting. I'm going to grab this now and smooth it and turn on Auto Smooth, and yeah, I might drag it up just a little bit, kind of smooth that out some. There we go. Something like that. So it's connected. It grounds that post. It certainly may not be anything like what's actually going on in there, but I just can't see it. So I'm going to go with this for now. All right, so let's now take a look at the gun. So the top of the gun is in alignment with the top of the turret panel here. Now, the bracket is off, and therefore the post is a little bit tall, but this is all lining up down here, and the gun will be lined up on the top. So because of the issue here with the window, I've adjusted here, but everything else is going to be in place. And frankly, sometimes this happens. I just don't feel like that this particular placement of the windows warrants the work to go back and change this. I think adjusting this is going to be just fine. So let's go and work on the gun now. I'm going to bring the cursor over to here and just kind of place it right there and go back to the move tool. And then we'll just create a new cube right here. I'll bring the size down to 0.1. And then let's put this in place. I think we can just scale it down and move it so we can place it right about here. And I think what we need to do is bring in a few more images of the gun. So let me open this up and bring in, say, this one here. Let's get this in our view. And then over here, let's bring in, well, we've got two pretty good ones here. How about this one? Let's bring in this one. Yeah, so we can kind of see the basic shape and everything in these two images. Okay, so now that we've got this here, I think this sight right here is this piece right there. So I'm going to put that right there. Tab into edit mode, go to face mode, and let's drag back. Now, this piece right here looks to me to be this right here. And there's a little bit beyond that, so I'm going to pull beyond that right there. And we can't see it because of the shield on the turret there. I might move that up just a bit there. All right, so we've got that. Let's tumble around and take a look at the width of it. Do we have anything in the front view that'll tell us what the width is? Well, I think we do. We can scale into about right there. So that's helpful there. Now let's go back to that side view and let's move the cursor again into here. So right into about here, and we're going to create a cylinder for this. So I'll go back to the move tool and press Shift A, and we're going to create a cylinder. And let's take it down to 12 sides. I'll go to 0.1 and 0.2 there, and I'll go ahead and remove any of the cap fills so we don't have anything on the top or the bottom. I'll press RX90 and turn it, and let's scale it down to about the right size here. Maybe something like this. Now, this has got a kind of a cutout here that these do not. You know, well, it's hard to see here, but I'm not seeing this part here. So I think what I'll do is move this out to here like this. And from here, I'll go ahead and tab into edit mode and go to vertex select, and let's border select these vertices and just drag them back into the cube back here. Now what I'd like to do is go ahead and use this edge here to create these pieces. So I'm just going to begin by hitting E and S and scaling in, and then E and Z. Looks like we're still in local transform orientation. So I'll come back up here and click on this menu, or remember, you can always hit the comma key and go to global here. Now let's press E and S and scale in a little bit more. And then E and Y now, and bring that out. Let's bring that out to about here. So I'm looking more at this than I am the actual reference image. So that's why I'm kind of off here. All right, so now I'll press E and S and scale in some more. And then let's go ahead and hit E and Y and just drag all the way out here. Let's then hit the period key to zoom in, and let's create this part right here. So E and S and scale out. E and Y, push forward. And I'll go to about here. E and S and scale in. Now let's go to solid view and take a look at this. So it looks like I could scale in a little bit more. You can see that here. And then what I'd like to do is go ahead and extrude it back. So E, Y, and just pull it back into here. And then if we take a look in there, we can see those edges. I'm going to close them up. I'm going to hit E and enter, and then Alt M and merge at center. And there we go. So that kind of closes that up. All right. So that is the very basic shape of the gun. Really the most basic of shapes there. But I think that's a good beginning. And in the next video, we'll begin by adding some of these pieces, like the handles in back. Also, we've got a handle here. And we're going to have to connect it to that post somehow as well. So we'll work on that coming up next.